All right, everybody, welcome into another live edition of the Patriots Beat Podcast here on the CLNS Media Network. I am Mike Kadlick, joined, as always, by 98.5 The Sports Hub's Alex Barth, and we are here for Patriots Beat Mock Draft 4.0. So now we're getting into it every Thursday. This is now number 4. We're going to do them every Thursday coming up until draft day on Thursday, the 27th of April, I believe?
Whatever it is, yeah.
Whatever it is. And so every Thursday from here on out, mock drafts, put them on the schedule, we'll be here. So number 4 is tonight. We're going to get right into it. But first, I want to talk about our friends at FanDuel who are sponsoring this show for us. Our lead sponsor now here at CLNS Media. Sports betting is wild and crazy here in Mass already. Rafael Devers got a hit for me today in the Red Sox loss, 10-9 loss. We're going to need to incorporate some Boston sports minutes in here a little while, Alex, to talk now that we got sports back, or other Boston sports back. And so go to FanDuel.com/Boston and you can get a $200 bonus with your first deposit and give them some love because they are giving us plenty of love. So that's that. Mock draft is here. We're going to frame it a little differently this time. We've gone tackle, we've gone corner for the first couple in the first round, and although those are the Patriots' sort of big needs, we're going to take it a little bit different route. So we're essentially ruling out tackle and Corner in the first round. So we're going to stray away from those at the beginning. So
if they go away from what we think their biggest needs are,
right,
what are the kind of conversations they're going to have? Who's going to be in discussion? And then what does it look like to add a tackle and guard if you don't address those in the first round? That's kind of the purpose of this exercise here.
Exactly. And so we will do it, and we will take a look at each position as they go right there. So if we want to, Alex, you want to start it up?
Yeah. You want to share it?
Yeah, let me
and let's share.
Around.
Are you going to share the what's it called?
The picks as well?
Yeah, the Google Doc. Why don't you share that link as
well?
Oh,
yeah, that's right. I'll throw that in the chat too. Sorry, give me 1 second. I'm fooling around here with this. No FanDuel. And I will throw the Google Doc link into the chat so you guys can take a look at that as well. So we are tracking every pick on a doc as well. So take a look at that. I'll pin that. And we'll show it, I guess. We can talk about it real quick. Patriots have these 11 picks. So this is what you're looking at on the Google Doc as well as on screen.
Yeah.
So
tweet that out too. Make sure so people.
Yeah, I will. I'll put it on Twitter.
Okay. All right. So let's get started here. I probably not going to trade up again just because we haven't traded up yet. Normally we do a trade up draft, but there's not a ton of reasons.
Yeah, we didn't trade up, right?
This year.
We've stuck or we've traded back twice now, right? Yeah.
Right. So there's not a ton of reasons for the Patriots to trade up this year, honestly. Okay, but we'll see what happens here. And here we go. Yep. All right. So for our exercise, we did pretty well because we said, again, corner and tackle. This is what if they don't go with that in the first round? Well, Porter and Witherspoon are both gone, as I believe is Gonzalez. So the top 3 corners are off the board.
Top 3 corners went, okay.
So in this scenario, if they're looking to go corner, they're going to trade back, right?
Yes.
Like they're not going to hang up in this spot. Tackle, Paris Johnson went, and I believe that's it. But so this is actually interesting. We'll throw this in here as well. Jalen Carter went 6th here. There's a report today that multiple teams have taken Jalen Carter off their draft boards.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to be a first-round pick. So for the sake of argument, you got to throw one more player in here because Carter's not going to go.
Right.
Well, Skoronski's the top player available. So Skoronski and Paris Johnson are both gone.
Right.
Right. So now, really, of the top-tier corners and tackles, it's either Broderick Jones, who doesn't profile, I shouldn't say he doesn't profile as a Patriots fit. His play style is, but they like experienced tackles. He's not as experienced.
Right.
And none of the corners they would take here on the board. So we may have had to do this exercise one way or the other here, Mike.
Yeah, right, exactly. The other interesting piece here of the guys who have already went is wide receiver Quentin Johnston, who was picked 12 right here with the Texans. He's a big body receiver. He's definitely profiles as, your typical outside receiver, big body, go up and get it type guy. TCU's Pro Day was this afternoon down in Texas, and the Patriots contingent was there in full swing. Mac Rowe was there. Bill Belichick was there. A couple of clips came out of it, but Belichick and Groh were basically right next to Johnson, talking him up pretty good. And there were plenty of other pro days today. I know Florida had one. There were a couple other big ones, and they were at TCU. So that's definitely something to keep an eye on.
Yeah, the thing for me with Johnson, and look, we've done this like a million times. Mm-hmm. He's a purely vertical receiver. His route tree's not that deep, and at 6'3", 208, he's not a contested catch guy. He's a guy you're looking to get separation, but he ran a 4.5 140 today, which isn't great.
No, it's not.
I for him to kind of justify that top 10, top 15 pick, I think unless you're a team that really sees him as a true scheme fit, he would have had to be in like the 4.4s. Mm-hmm. I know people roll their eyes at the N'Keal Harry comparison. I get it. I think he's a better player than N'Keal Harry, but you're going to run into a lot of those same problems they had with N'Keal, which is they take this big guy who's purely a vertical receiver and they try to make him win in a phone booth. And that's just not who Johnson is. He's not a guy who's going to be running double moves and running comebacks and running go stop goes and in multiple cuts.
Exactly.
So if they take him, to me, it's a do-over on N'Keal Harry. Okay, here's, we think we know what we got wrong with N'Keal, and we're going to try again to get this player in the fold. Right. Now, and we'll get some other TCU players, other TCU players later that I like. Now, Jackson Smith and Jigba also went.
Okay.
He's the typical Patriots fit, right? He's a good route runner.
Bigger slot, yeah.
Yeah, big slot, good route runner, good after the catch. But even to that extent, and I've said this before, I think there's a ton of overlap with him and Juju Smith-Schuster. And the reality is, if you're going to take a receiver this high, or any player they take this high, it needs to be a guy who's going to have an 80% usage rate. You can't take a rotational player this high. And the way their offense is built, Jackson Smith and Jigba is going to be a rotational player. So the two receivers we have left.
So let's talk too. So I guess there are three main needs, as we've talked about: corner, tackle, wide receiver.
Yeah.
And I would throw safety in there as a distant 4.
And I think we can throw edge in there too. Yeah. Just because they're always liable to take an edge in the top 100. So
if we take out corners and tackles, now we're really looking at receiver, safety, and maybe an edge or linebacker type.
So at receiver, we have Zay Flowers and Jordan Addison. Addison's still falling. He didn't test well at the combine. He didn't look as explosive as he did on tape. I think Flowers and Addison are similar players. Flowers is just better.
So it's funny, and we've done this before, and obviously it comes out in the wash as you go through the draft process and you hear how guys test and hear how guys meet, right? When we had these conversations about Zay and Addison earlier, it was always, well, if you're going to take Zay Flowers, just take Jordan Addison. That's completely flipped.
Yeah.
So Flowers is now, the guy in between these two. Addison did also, he went on the Rich Eisen show today. He met with the Patriots at the Combine, and he also has another trip coming up to Foxborough. So he'll be meeting with the Patriots again in a top 30 visit. So something to monitor there from the receivers. But I'm with, if we're gonna go receiver, it's Zay. He has the scheme fit. His ceiling is Antonio Brown. So he can, the way he plays, he's a slot, but he can play everywhere. He's shorter. However, I still think he could succeed as an outside receiver, and if he has to, he'll be a chess piece in the offense. But he also worked with the Patriots a little bit, the Shrine Bowl. He talked about it, and he did say, and I saw a clip and I loved it, that Haas wide juke that they run, he was the juke guy every single time they ran the play at the Shrine Bowl. So they have something for Zay. I just think it fits. At the end of the day, if they can make it happen, it fits.
So that's the case at wide receiver.
Right.
Like I said, safety's on the board. I mean, it's Brian Branch if they're going safety at 14.
100%. That's why I wanted to bring it up, because it's the Bama connection. It's Brian Branch.
And he's a guy that I think could play deep for them. And all right. And then on the interior, Lucas Van Ness, again, for me, this guy has to play. Lucas Van Ness is a pure third down player.
Right.
He's not a 3-down player, so that doesn't help. Kalijah Cansey, kind of the same thing. Mm-hmm. I also just feel like there are guys in that mold later in the draft for how much he's going to play.
What about a Nolan Smith?
And then there's Nolan Smith, who's interesting. Like, he's going to definitely help you, carry over to, if you don't re-sign Josh Uche, he can be that next guy. Highly athletic pass rusher. I don't think they're going to love his size, and I'm going to pull it up right here just so I have, 6'2", 238 is a little on the small side for them. They're going to love the athletic testing.
Yeah.
To me, he's the break glass in case of emergency pick here.
He ran a 4.39 at the combine. He is fast AF.
To me, he's the if let's say they are looking tackle corner and all those guys go, Nolan Smith is all right, well, we can't trade the pick. We're just going to take this guy because he's a freak.
Yeah, right.
So that being said, I don't think we need to do that here because I think Zay Flowers has fallen, and we know they like him. And I think it's Zay Flowers.
I do too, especially with JSN gone.
Yeah,
let's do it. Zay Flowers, baby.
So we're gonna grab Zay Flowers.
All right.
And I'm gonna try to pause it at the end of the first round so we can see who's gone.
Yeah, I don't think we have to really trade into one like we did last time again.
Yeah, so
let it go.
Well, so if Anton Harrison or Darnell Wright fell, I was gonna say let's wait and see. Or let's see if we can move up and grab one of them, but they're both gone. There's enough corners that we don't need to trade up. So I'm gonna let it roll on out to 46.
Okay.
And now I think we go tackler corner.
Yeah.
So we got Emmanuel Forbes, who they've met with.
Okay.
Tyreek Stevenson, really good Senior Bowl. Another one of these big outside corners. Garrett Williams, Travis Hodges, Tomlinson are more slots.
I love how much you don't like Matthew Bergeron. You just
I got to be honest. Like because I did my offensive line deep dive. I'm writing it right now.
Yeah.
He might be a guard. He's definitely not a left tackle. I think he's a right tackle in the NFL, if that, but he might just be a guard. He is there. I grouped Williams and Tomlinson because they're both corners.
Right.
I have my concern. Ricks had a really rough year last year in Alabama's defense. That's generally a red flag for them. Obviously love Brents. This is the guy I wanted to see if he was still here. Darius Rush.
What about he's obviously Keeler Ringo. Where did he go? He's gone.
I think we just missed him by a couple picks. 37 to Seattle.
We haven't done much on him.
Makes a ton of sense.
It would make a lot of sense if he's there, but he goes. Okay.
And then the one other guy I'd highlight is Blake Freeland at tackle. So I look at this, Mike.
Yeah.
Bergeron's not the guy. There's still Freeland, there's still Jalen Duncan, and there's still Tyler Steen.
We can get Steen later.
Right, we can get those three guys later. We're like, Brents is probably the guy we take now to get now, and Rush is probably the guy we take now to get now.
Yeah. Scroll up to the other corners. Hodges Tomlinson's there, but he's tiny. He's not going to, he doesn't really fill a need. Emmanuel Forbes.
So Forbes would be the other guy. They're going to like Forbes.
Yeah, they are.
Because he tested really well. Tremendous production. 14 career interceptions, 6 of them for pick sixes. I think it's like 18 pass deflections. He's got just insane numbers.
He's a playmaker. He's a ball.
Right. He's 6'1", long arms, but he's 166 pounds. So you worry about him as a tackler. You worry about him against some of those stronger receivers. He's bigger. He doesn't have the height to compete, but is he going to get out muscled? And he's a little aggressive. Honestly, my comp for him is Trayvon Diggs. And I don't know if people know how I feel about Trayvon Diggs, but that's not necessarily a great thing.
Yeah, I know.
To me. That being said, I think they will really like him because they will look at him and say, we can coach him to be the right amount of aggressive.
I think that tells me all we need to know. We kind of do this from a Patriots lens if we have to, don't we? Or if we want to.
So we're going, it's basically Forbes, Brents, or Rush. And we're going Forbes?
Yeah, let's do Forbes.
All right. So
playmaker. Now they have, they add another playmaker to that defensive back group. Where Kyle Duggar is aggressive, a guy like that. Jack Jones showed it last year with pick sixes on Aaron Rodgers. Like, a rookie doesn't just go jump a route like Aaron Rodgers, like Jack Jones did in that game. So add another playmaker to that room. You're aggressive. You don't really have that conservative guy, but hey, I like it.
And it doesn't have his pass breakups here, but it was double digits. It was long. Yeah. So, all right, we're going to take Forbes, but now here's what I'm going to do. So there's Bergeron, Duncan, Freeland, and Steen. I'm going to watch because if 3 of those guys come off the board, I think we have to trade up and take the fourth one, right? Because after that, yeah, there's a big drop off. Luke Haggard, Connor Galvin, these like late day 3 guys.
Those are late. I think we took Haggard in like the 7th round in one of these mocks.
Haggard's like a double up on offensive line guy. I like him. I do. I like Galvin better. It's both of them. But like they're like, all right, we already got our tackle, but let's just kind of fill out the depth here.
Right.
So, I guess I should take Forbes.
We'll take Forbes,
right? Yeah, I should do.
We missed the pick, and now we can't take him.
Yeah, clock's run out.
Yeah.
All right, Emmanuel. I'm gonna hang on. I gotta slow this down a little bit. All right, Emmanuel Forbes. Now let's see where these tackles go here. All right. So
Darnell was there.
Darnell was there. Yeah. There were bigger needs. No,
I know.
It's a luxury pick. All right. So there goes Bergeron.
Matt Bergeron's gone.
There goes
Cody Mauch.
I wanted Freeland and Duncan.
Okay, so we just missed Duncan. Okay.
We lined it up.
Jalen Duncan, I like.
It's maybe a bit of a reach for C. Now could we trade back? I don't think we can get to 94. The Eagles calling. Yeah, I don't think we can trade back. And look, it's a Bill O'Brien guy, right?
Yeah, that's why I think it's the pick.
So Steen is a guy, he 3-year starter at Vanderbilt, played played right tackle his first year. Has been a left tackle last 3 years. He transferred to Alabama last year, had a really good year for the Tide. The only reason he's not a lock to be a top 50 pick, he's kind of like day 2 Peter Skoronski. He's got like 32 and 5/8 inch arms, and he doesn't hit that 33 inch threshold, right? And people get nervous about it. I think the Patriots will be comfortable with it. If Bill O'Brien signs off, they know him in worst case scenario. He can play right guard. So if you like him, but he can't play tackle, you don't have to pay Michael Onwenu next year.
The way they're building the O-line too, it's just like a bunch of guys, and we're just going to throw them together. It's not like you don't necessarily, I mean, would they like this guy's a definite tackle, of course, but they've sort of just built it piecemeal, and he can play all over the place. He knows O'Brien's system already and what they're going to want to try and do, and so I think it makes sense.
Yeah.
Who's there for safeties, though?
Who is here for safeties? Let's see.
Or tight ends. We might as well look at both because
so safeties
those are needs as well.
Still have Jamie Robinson, have Jordan Battle.
Chris Smith as well.
Yeah, tight end, Tucker Kraft, Luke Scoot. At this point, it's the day 3 guys.
Yeah. Okay.
But it you know what, it sucks because this would be a great spot to trade back. But the problem is to make it worth trading back, we'd have to trade far enough back that we'd probably lose Tyler Steen, right? Trading back 3 picks really isn't going to do much for us at this point in the draft.
Yeah.
So, yeah, all right.
Steen?
It's just the way the board sets up. They desperately need a tackle.
Yeah.
Tyler Steen is the pick. All right. And we went chalk in the top 100, which is, I think, the first time we've done. Might be the first time I've ever done that. We got a trade coming. I'll tell you that right now. I feel it. Yeah. We got 2 picks within a 10-pick range. Why don't we reset the board here real quick?
Yeah. Then we also have the 184, 187 coming up. So that's going to be a shift too. All right. But here we go. Here's what we're looking at now. Here's where we're at. Round 1, pick 14. We went Zay Flowers. Slot / I mean, okay, he's a slot, but I think they would use him everywhere. I do. I think
they're going to line him up all over the formation. Evan had this comp today on Catch 22. It's a good comp. I like it. Deion Branch.
Perfect.
And I think that's a good comp for him.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
He profiles like a slot receiver, but he's not going to be out of place if you play him on the boundary. You probably want him in the slot as much as he can. It's where he's going to be at his best, but you don't lose too much if you move him to the outside.
There's not as much of an overlap between him and Juju as there would be in Jackson Smith and Juju.
Correct. So, the overlap with him, honestly, is Kendrick Bourne.
Right.
Who we know they're fine putting on the bench for whatever reason, but we don't need to start that whole thing right now.
Yep. So round 2, 46, we go with Emmanuel Forbes, cornerback, Mississippi State. He is an absolute ball hawk playmaker. 6 pick sixes during his time in the SEC. How many total interceptions did you say? I don't remember it off the top of my head.
14, I think.
Yeah. So he goes and gets the ball. He's a ball hawk. So 6'1". He's only like 165 pounds, so he's light, but that's a guy who the Patriots can, get him in Cabrera's strength room and see what you can do with him. So that's where we went round 2, and then round 3 we went Tyler Steen, a tackle / he could play guard too, I think, right? He's sort of He can double dip. But so that's an Alabama guy who just worked with Bill O'Brien down in Tuscaloosa. It makes a lot of sense there. It might be a little early for him, but the way this board fell, the tiers of tackles, it was just we were in desperate need of tackle. So I still like the pick for Steen at 76. So that's where we're at through 3 rounds, Alex.
All right, so we revisit here. Yep. Let's take a look what we got. I mean, I think at this point any position's on the table, right? So tight end, we missed Zach Kuntz last time.
Yeah, we did.
I think we traded this pick to get up, but we got Zach Kuntz, but they may be out on Zach Kuntz. They have Zach Kuntz, right? It's Mike Gesicki.
Yeah.
So they may be out on Zach Kuntz. He's probably the one tight end you're taking here.
So how do we want to work the there's Kendre Miller. That's another.
So I was going to say, so running backs, Kendre Miller, I like, reminds me a little bit of Ramondre Stevenson when he was coming out of Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Tyjae Spears, big-time Senior Bowl guy. They're going to like Dwayne McBride, too. Second leading rusher in college football, the leading rusher from a non-option offense. They like production at the running back spot. He kind of reminds me of, if this makes sense, like a running back version of Bailey Zappi. Smaller school, but experienced, massive production, smart football player. He's a guy they're really going to like. This is another one, Andrew Voorhees, and they probably have him high here at 116. Mm-hmm. He was going to be a top 100 pick. He was one of the best guards in this draft, and then he tore his ACL at the Combine.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So he's going to miss at least part of this season, and I could see them doing the Cameron McGrone thing with him where it's just like, hey, look, here's a top 100 talent sitting here at, maybe it's not 107, but like at 135 if he falls there, and like, let's just take him and redshirt him. Doesn't cost us a roster spot. We get a premium talent. Again, still probably a little high here, especially the way we've drafted so far, but a name to know.
And how'd the McGrone experiment work out?
Right. So Jartavius Martin's a safety. He's not a corner. He's a safety. Yeah. He's listed here, but he's a safety. Deep safety, free safety, a guy that fits. Also, so JL Skinner's another guy. I don't think he tore his ACL. I want to say it was a torn Achilles.
I think it was Achilles. Yeah, it was Achilles.
He suffered some injury. I forget that. Yeah, like you said, I think Achilles. That during the pre-draft that he's going to miss the season, was a fringe top 100 pick. He's going to fall now, right? That's another guy that could get that.
Yeah.
That Cameron McGrone thing.
We can go to edge too.
Yeah, so I normally just do like defensive line, linebacker, edge all at once because they sort of overlap. Look, I really like Ajomo as that athletic defensive tackle. We know they're meeting with guys like that. KJ Henry off the edge to me is a total Patriot, multi-time team captain. One of these situational guys. I think he can play. Those are kind of the guys to me, Mike. I don't know if who you like from that group.
Ivan Pace as well. He's down the board a little bit.
Yeah, but I'm not going to get myself excited about Ivan Pace because every year we talk about these athletic off-ball middle linebackers and this is the year, and then they don't do it. So, yes, it'd be great if they added a player like Ivan Pace, but
they just missed Jaden Reed. Michigan State.
Jaden Reed would have been in it, although there's a lot of overlap between him and Zay.
I agree, but it's just a guy who could be on their board at this area. Yeah,
Maker, I think could be a pick here,
and Chris Smith.
Yeah.
So we have 107, 117, 135, 184. We have a ton of picks coming up.
Yeah.
What's the play here? Like, do you make them all? I mean,
so let's see.
You can't really. Go ahead.
So the thing is, they never really like 5th round picks. I think they're okay with this setup. The one thing I could see is using 184 and 192 to maybe move up.
Okay.
But they're not moving down from here. This isn't a spot where you'd move down. There's a lot of guys on the board that make sense. The board fell very well for us here.
All right, so
what are you thinking?
I like. Are we considering we're going to use Jartavius Martin as a safety, right?
Yeah, obviously. He's a safety. They just have him listed.
I like that. I think he's a guy who can be a fit here. Corner. Call him a corner.
Right. Yeah.
Illinois, they have two dominant safeties. I think obviously Martin's one of them. I don't know why do they do this? Why do they have him as a corner? Did he play corner at all at Illinois?
So he was a slot corner in 2021.
Okay.
And he played a lot of slot corner last year too, but he's going to be a safety in the NFL.
Okay. I think it's a fit. They need safety. We've talked about it, but the way that they're going to play this amoeba with Jonathan Jones and Kyle Duggar, you lose Devin McCourty. I think Martin's a pretty solid pick to add to the. He's a guy you can add to the defensive backfield who can play multiple positions. So
that's a good point. All right, so Jartavius Martin's the pick there. Yeah. Now let's see it's going to be all the guys I said I wanted to pick. So Jomo would have been a good pick.
Carl Brooks,
Tajay Spears, Carl Brooks, J.L. Skinner. What are we gonna do here? I feel like they would go running back here.
Yeah, me too.
Because I feel like it's going to be an offensive heavy draft, and we've now made 3 picks. We've done, I think, 2 on offense, 2 on defense, right? Yeah. The only other guy that stands out to me is KJ Henry.
Well, okay, let's talk about running back for a second, because Kendre Miller, TCU guy, Belichick and Grover just had his pro day. 17 touchdowns last year for TCU. He put up almost 1,400 yards rushing. He can catch the ball a little bit. I mean, I think he's not a pass catching back really, but they're going to use Ramondre as a pass catching back too. So like they don't really need a prototypical pass catcher, because James Robinson in the room too. Like these guys can just do it all. There's not really your James White anymore. And so I think
that's why I like Dwayne McBride though, because he's just like that true downhill back. If those guys are going to be on the field on third downs, Dwayne McBride's just going to put his head down and go.
You like McBride over Miller?
I think they will.
I think I like Kendre Miller.
Okay. The other thing is the chat pointed this out. Zach Kuntz is still here at this point.
Oh boy. What's more of a need?
Running back's probably more of a need, but if it's just that, hey, let's help out Mac Jones draft, you got 2 tight ends in contract years.
None who can block.
See, that's where it's tricky.
Yeah. Latu. You can wait on Latu, but.
Yeah. Actually, do they have. No, Jack Coletto's not on this. That's unfortunate.
That's too bad, but that's early for him anyway.
It is, but
just though?
As I'm trying to think ahead, it is early. Yeah. I'm just trying to think ahead.
I like Kendre here, but if you want to go McBride, then
no, that's fair. That's fair.
They were just at his pro day. I know that doesn't mean much because they scout everyone, right? But
they specifically met with him at the pro day too. Look, he's their kind of back. Like
right.
I've said it before. He reminds me of Ramondre Stevenson a little bit. So for what that's all right. So Kendre Miller.
Yep. Okay. National championship participant. Got spanked by Georgia, but played a lot of ball last year. He was really good. So
all right. And Zach Kuntz and KJ Henry both went. So I think this is where this is where we look to trade down to spread out the picks. So like I see this here.
Yeah.
So 150 is the 5th round. That's going to be like middle of the 5th round.
Before we make our trade, let's reset the board again.
Go for it. I'm going to kind of work on this in the background.
Perfect. So we'll take a look. We'll reset the board because, again, for those of you who have just joined us and haven't been paying attention the whole time, we did it. We took Zay Flowers, wide receiver from Boston College. We're going to bring him to Gillette Stadium. We went Emmanuel Forbes, athletic cornerback from Mississippi State. Small guy, but athletic, and he's a playmaker. Tyler Steen, swing offensive lineman from Bama, who just worked with Bill O'Brien, so it made a lot of sense. Then we went to safety, Jartavius Martin from Illinois, and we rounded it out just now with Kendre Miller, a running back from TCU. He will add to an already pretty, I guess it's not as deep as you think. You think the Patriots running back room is deep, but they really still need guys there, and Kendre Miller will certainly compete for not only a spot in that room, obviously, but will potentially push out a guy like James Robinson or maybe Ty Montgomery. So that's where we're at. That's where we're at through 5 picks. So you take a look at that. You can also see in the chat that The doc is there, so you can take a look at it too. Before we continue on, Alex, I do want to talk about FanDuel because, and if you give me a second here, FanDuel in Massachusetts is here. It's back, so listen up because the wait is finally over. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, is now live in the Commonwealth, and new customers in Mass can get in on the action with us with $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. All you got to do is sign up at fanduel.com/Boston, and you can bet on all your favorite sports from the money line to point spreads to player props and more. I was betting earlier on FanDuel, and I won a nice bet from Rafael Devers because FanDuel had a super boost where they paid out even money for Rafi to get a hit, and he did exactly that. Although they lost 10-9, I still won my money because Rafi got his hit. And so they do a ton of promos like that, new state promos for people who just joined. So do it. It's literally free money, $200 in bonus bets on the app that is safe, secure, and super easy to use. So don't miss your chance to get in on the action with $200 in bonus bets, win or lose. All you got to do is visit fanduel.com/Boston and make every moment more on America's #1 sportsbook. 21 plus and present in Mass. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire in 14 days. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Hope is here. GamblingHelplineMA.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support. Alrighty. So we're 5 picks through. We've talked about FanDuel. Let's finish this thing off. What do we got?
Here's what I've come up with. This is a really tricky spot to trade, honestly.
Okay. Alex got to work during the ad read.
We're going to move back 5 picks.
Okay.
Sorry, we're going to... Oh, no, I got this wrong. We're moving back twice. This is really tough. All right, so we're going to move... We might just have to make this. We don't really have a good offer here. The other one I had was we go from 135 to 150, and we pick up 215. Now we're making 12 picks. So we're going to want to move some picks later on, maybe in that 184, 187, 192 range. But we get 193. I'm going to try to get 193 here.
Okay.
All right, that works. So
all right, so explain it to me so I can put it in the drive.
Okay. We traded 135,
okay,
which is a 4th round pick.
Okay.
For 150, which is a 5th round pick.
Okay.
And 193, which is a 6th round pick.
193?
Yeah.
Okay, so we also have back-to-backs in round 6 now. Pick 192 and 193.
We have a bunch of picks. We're going to move some of those picks. We're probably going to move up. But, all right, you good?
Yes. So now we're at 150.
Let it keep going. This is, of course, the special teams round.
Oh, boy.
So I think we're going to go look for punters here.
Yeah.
Maybe who did we take last time?
We took Behringer from Mississippi State. Michigan State, excuse me.
I feel like we got to change it up, right?
Yeah. Have we taken Turk yet?
I think we got Michael Turk here. Yeah.
Yeah, so we've taken Moody already, I think. We went Behringer last time, and it is the special teams round. And I believe it is Michael Turk time. You're right. Tell us about Michael Turk because you saw him in person at the Shrine Bowl. So what do you got for us on Turk?
Yeah, I mean, absolute boomer of a leg, no pun intended. Really kicks the crap out of the ball. I think he understands the game as well as a student of the game, so he's going to understand the intricacies of their special teams in terms of where they're kicking the ball, why they're kicking it, to where they're kicking it at certain times. He's handled kickoffs as well, which is obviously big. It's not something you want Nick Folk doing. We saw that at the end of last year, and I think he really liked. I think he made an impression on the Patriots coaches, and I think the Patriots coaches made an impression on him. So
easy enough.
He's a guy, and as people point out, and as he does on his YouTube channel, Hangtime YT, he puts up a ton on the bench. He's a gym rat. So, all right. So Michael
Turk's loving it too. So
yes. So Michael Turk's going to be the pick here. And then I'm going to try to do something because there's going to be a bunch of players we want to take, and we're not making 12 picks.
Yeah. So do we want to move up? Pause it?
Yeah. So can we move up to 1? See, it's like too tight to move up here, though.
6
we can
picks.
do this. And then get a future pick.
It's crazy how it goes from absolutely not to absolutely.
Right.
Between the 6
over
and
6 or 7.
Yeah. What if we give 245 instead?
It's not going to work. All right. So we have 12 picks here. So what is this? So we're moving back See, that doesn't make sense, though. You don't move back and give up another pick.
So take out the... Well, what if we do 184, 184, and 245 straight up? That's kind of giving up a lot, don't you think?
Yeah, that's
a full pick just to go up 6 spots.
Yeah.
What about what about a 7th and 24?
It's still it's not, there's not a lot of room to maneuver here. That's the thing. Let's just let it ride.
Yeah, all right.
Let's let it ride. Let's see what we can get here. We didn't miss none of these guys. I don't think we would have taken anyway. So, all right, Yasir Abdullah still being here. We're respecting the board. He would be gone, but that's a guy I would take. So we did talk about that pass catching running back, Mike. Eric Gray from Oklahoma looks like a clone of James White on tape. I really like him. He's a potential pick here, and he would battle it out with Pierre Strong for the pass catching back job. Tight end, it's fallen off.
Yeah.
See, this is where like I would love to take Jack Coletto here.
Yeah.
We can't. So, I feel like we took Braden Willis last week, I think.
No,
we took Payne Durham.
Yeah, Payne Durham.
So Braden Willis could make sense here as kind of like a hybrid fullback, tight end, a strong blocker. See, remember when we were going to take Tyler Steen? Yeah. And I said, well, we have to take him now because like it falls off. Only one tackle is gone since then.
That's crazy.
Think about that.
Yeah.
Luke Haggard maybe makes some sense. We could address the interior of the offensive line. They've met with Anthony Bradford. I really like Anthony Bradford. And remember, we have 184 and 187 here, so we're gonna get a couple shots at this.
We could double dip at receiver as well potentially.
Oh yeah, I'll go back and check that. The corner board's not. We'll revisit that in a little bit. We don't need to go corner just yet. Bryce is gonna be gone. Ronnie Bell and Jake Bobo. It's a little early. To Mario Douglas, it's a little early, so we'll come back to that.
Okay.
How about the front? Okay, so Jose Ramirez, I like. This is going to sound super random. Eastern Michigan.
Okay.
He was like all over the place at the combine.
Okay.
Not only did he test well, like the on-field stuff, but he's like breaking down the group before they ran it. And he's like waiting for everybody after they finish to give him high fives and stuff like that. Like, just seemed like a high character guy.
Yeah.
Team guy. They need an edge guy. It's late in the draft. Why not?
All right, here's my question.
Character. Okay.
We take a risk.
Pull up the stats. Yeah.
Okay, you pull up the stats and I try and convince you to take a risk here. What if we trade back from 184? And then
we have too many picks.
We try and take Ramirez at 187. I guess, but that's kind of what I'm saying. We trade back, maybe pick something up next year.
By the way, he had Ramirez last year in 12 games, 12 sacks, 19.5 tackles for a loss. So very productive player.
Okay.
I don't. You're not trading back. If anything, you take the guy you want and you trade back at 187.
All right, then let's do it, Jose Ramirez.
Because you're just a little bit of just draft like how it works.
Yeah.
So if you are in that scenario where you say, all right, we're only going to make one of these picks. We have two very close to each other. Why would you risk the guy you like when what you get for 184 versus 187, there's really no difference there.
That was my thought process was, well, you're trading the higher value pick, but then you're also taking a risk on players. So
right.
Shout out Cleveland Guardians, Jose Ramirez.
If they were like 15 picks apart, then maybe because you might be able to squeeze an extra like future seventh rounder out of it. You're not doing that at this point.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna take Jose Ramirez. And Luke had so I was gonna say maybe we double up a tackle, Luke Haggard. You know what though? We have 192 and 193 here.
Can we trade one of those for like a future sixth?
So here's what I'm gonna say. We both like Bradford, right? And they need a guard. Let's take Bradford, pick at 192, and then trade 193. Or maybe package 192 and 193 for something.
Okay.
Let's get the guys we know we want to get. So the background on Bradford, for people who don't know, he started games for LSU at left guard, center, right guard, and right tackle. Big guy, 6'4", 332. Probably a guard in the NFL. I think if you really needed him to play tackle, you could. But really, like, just technically solid player. I think he's going to come in day one, be like a capable NFL offensive lineman. He's going to give you good depth, and he maybe has the ceiling that if you like what you see, it makes he should be a guy that if Michael Onwenu walks, I think a year from now, we could be saying, well, Anthony Bradford could slide into that role. So it's probably a little late for him here, but guards tend to fall. Teams don't like drafting guards. Right. You know, there's first round guards. There's no such thing really as a day 2 guard.
Yeah.
There's first round guards, and we'll get him in the 6th round.
It's Quentin Nelson, it's Osiris Torrance, and then it's Mike Onwenu who goes undrafted. Yeah,
and then Mike Onwenu, who you get in the 6th round, right?
Yeah.
So I see some people saying TJ Bass. I think he's off the board.
Is he?
They might have him as a tackle. We've
did.
taken TJ Bass before. They do some TJ Bass. We've taken TJ Bass before. Maybe we'll revisit that. But I like Bradford here.
I like. Is it? I mean, this might be looking into where they have the. You know what? Yeah, do it. You got to go get your guy. Go get Bradford, and then we'll reassess 192, 193.
And there goes Bryce Ford Wheaton. The Texans. That's a good fit. Yeah. That's a good fit for him. All right, so Eric Gray's still here.
Okay. Are we going to double dip on halfback?
Who'd we take?
Kendra.
Oh, I forgot pull it. Let's reset because I forgot we took a run.
All right, we'll reset it.
Yeah.
All right, folks. Here we go. We traded 135. So that's what we're – sorry, you can take a look as well, but I'll go through the whole thing again. Zay Flowers, Emmanuel Forbes, Tyler Steen, Jartavis Martin, Kendre Miller, Alex. We then traded 135. We traded back. We picked up 193 and 150, which we used to take a punter, Michael Turk. Then we took Jose Ramirez, an edge from Eastern Michigan, also a Lugger for the. I'm gonna drill this joke into the ground because Jose Ramirez also plays for the Guardians. An edge from Eastern Michigan, and then we went with Anthony Bradford, a guard from LSU. We got 4 picks left, Alex. 2 that are right next to each other, 210, and then the Jonnu Smith pick, 245. Which Bill Belichick's going to trade because he doesn't want it tied to Jonnu Smith.
Right. So the thing, although then again, they made the Brady pick, which was maybe the
that's true.
Biggest surprise in the history of Patriots draft.
Was it Uche?
No, it was Ronnie Perkins.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
I want to find the number here. I know I have it somewhere. So somebody brought up in the chat that this is a lot of picks, right? The Patriots generally make a lot of picks. 3 of the last 4 years, they've drafted exactly 10 players. And that's the number. That's why I keep trying to trade these picks, essentially, because they're trying to follow their trends. They make 10 picks. It's what they do. So I'm trying to get us to 10 picks, and this gets us to 10 picks.
We're at 8.
Yeah. Well, no, we're at right now. We'd have 12 if we picked all the way out here.
This is traded.
No, but I'm saying with all the picks that we have.
Oh, yes, correct.
We're scheduled to make 12 picks.
Right. So we need to make something happen, especially with these 2 next to each other.
So here's what I have here. We're going to trade. Actually, no, we're going to pick at 192, and then we're going to trade 193 and 245. We're going to trade a 6th and a 7th for a future 5th.
Okay.
So we'll be realistic. We'll make the pick, and then we'll do that.
Okay.
192. So have we taken an edge guy yet? Yeah, we did. We took Jose Ramirez. Do not make joke again. Don't do it.
Opening day.
So we do. They could double up at edge though. Dylan Horton's kind of a different kind of player. He's more of a pure pass rusher. I like him. Again, we talked about TCU. I think we got to go tight end at this point though. And I really like Braden Willis. Strong blocker. Can line up in the slot, can line up in line, can line up at tight end. When he does catch the ball, he's good after the catch. We know they like the Oklahoma program. This, to me, is the pick.
Well, who's there at wide receiver for a double up?
Who is here at wide receiver? Ronnie Bell, Jake Bobo, Justin Shorter, Demario Douglas. We're going to be able to get any of those guys at 210, I would think. Maybe not Ronnie Bell. Maybe not Ronnie Bell or Jake Bobo, but I don't think we would take either of those guys.
Yeah, we wouldn't. Let's do it. Let's do.
All right. So we've got Nick Casario.
Wait, did we take Willis yet?
Oh, this is why. This is people. Oh, Barth, you should run the draft board. You do better than the Patriots. No, I'd forget to make the picks, apparently.
Braden Willis, tight end, Oklahoma.
There we go. All
Double
right.
Sooner.
And now, Nick Casario still on the phone with us. He's annoyed because we kept answering the phone and hanging up and blah, blah, blah. We're going to trade a 6th and a 7th for a future 5th. Can we also throw a future 7th in there, Nick? No, we cannot. All right. Let's do it. There we go. So future asset. Love to see it. Horton went. I kind of like the idea of doubling up on the edge. Oh, and DJ Johnson went too from Oregon. DJ Johnson was recruited as a defensive end, but the COVID year, they had like a bunch of injuries and stuff at tight end. And I think some other guys were like, yeah, it was mostly injuries. I think somebody had like a grades thing, but they're like, hey, can you play tight end? And he was like, yeah, I guess we have to. So he played tight end. He was like decent at it. He was playing both ways for a couple of years. And then last year he went back just to full-time defensive end. He was great. He had a great year. So screams Patriot.
Yep.
That is an interesting thing in the chat. Somebody just put this. Is Hunter Lepke is still here.
So this is our last pick because we traded 193 and 245.
Oh, correct? You're right.
Just keep that in mind. This is our final pick.
Unless you trade down, nobody's on the
phone.
All right. So Hunter Lepke's like a fullback, running back, tight end. He's kind of that use check kind of player. So he could be a fit. You mentioned doubling up at wide receiver. We took, I really like Demario Douglas.
So do I.
But we took Zay Flowers. I think you got to add size. You got to get the bigger guy. To me, the pick here would be Justin Shorter.
Okay. Shrine Bowl kid.
Florida. Yep. If we wanted to double up on the offensive line, TJ Bass is still here. Kid from I like Dalton Wagner.
The Baylor kid, Connor Galvin.
He's not here.
Yeah.
If he was here, I probably would take him. We didn't draft a defensive tackle. Dante Stills is here. I really like Dante Stills.
DJ Dale, another Crimson Tide.
Yeah. Tyrus Wheat's still here. Truman Jones. I don't hate doubling up on the edge. Do we want to make 11 picks? Should we try to make 11 picks?
We've made 10 already. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
we made
7,
9.
8, 9. Yeah, I don't hate it. We can do 11. Why? Can we trade back and get something?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Trade back 9 spots and add a 7.
Try it.
So
it's going to get
essentially, I don't know what we did. This is a weird convoluted trade that we traded out. We traded back in. But all right, we're going to move down 9 spots or not. Okay. The Eagles don't want to take our call. How about the Bears? Okay, Bears will do
Bears.
it. We actually. All right.
So who do we miss out on?
We're actually okay. So we trade out of the 6th round. Missed out on DJ Dale, Drake Thomas. I know a lot of people like Ventrell Miller, Jaron Hall. We didn't look at quarterbacks. No. Jaron Hall won't be here. That's respecting the board. Yeah. Jaron Hall will not be here. Neither will Eric Gray. Stetson Bennett will very much be here.
Stetson. I've tried to get you to take him every time.
I do like Jervarius Owens, but I think they're not going to come away from this draft without a defensive lineman. I think we go Dante Stills here.
All right. I like Stills. That's been your guy for years.
Yeah, athletic defensive tackle kind of reminds me of Christian Barmore. He's older. There's not as much upside, but kid's ferocious.
Yeah.
Kid's ferocious, is great get off. I think that's big. And then, all right, we rounded out here. So Justin Shorter, I think, is still here. No, Justin Shorter went. All right.
Okay.
Mike, I don't mind Michael Jefferson from Louisiana if we want to go receiver. He's a bigger receiver. If we want to go on the offensive line, Lualu from Oregon, right? They have that connection. Dalton Wagner from Arkansas. We want to add another big right tackle.
All right, we're at 258 now, right? I'm just trying to update the doc as well.
258, yeah. This is the second to last pick in the draft. This is almost Mr. Relevant. I like Terrell Smith, corner from Minnesota, if we want to double up there.
Oh, is that Louisiana Tech kid still there? I can't think of his name. He was a Shrine Bowl guy. Miles Brooks.
Right?
Yeah, he's a long
I think Terrell Smith's a better player.
Okay.
Same kind of player, but I think Terrell Smith's a little bit better.
Okay.
Any interesting linebackers? Isaiah Moore, we know they like. I like Mo Diabate. DTR is going to be gone.
Yeah.
Max Duggan, maybe you could swing here, but we already took from. They're not going to double up on TCU.
He was just there.
I'm not that lucky. What do you think?
At safety?
I mean, his name at safety. I like Jordan Howden. I like AJ Finley.
Jaden Woodby's going to be an undrafted guy the Patriots bring in, I bet.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
You name a position, I think there's going to be a guy we'd be happy with. It's just which direction do we want to go with it? Do we want another edge guy?
We're pretty
Truman Jones, Shrine Bowl.
We're pretty even as far as offense defense so far.
Yeah.
So we can really go anywhere. I don't hate Truman Jones, local kid, Harvard.
See, he's a guy that's going to be easy to get as a UDFA though, and at this point,
I guess. But that's anyone with the
pick.
second to last pick. What you want to trade it?
No, but no, I'm saying Truman Jones specifically for the Patriots because he's local.
Yeah,
they're familiar with him.
Yeah, fair.
The thing what you're trying to do in this spot is there a guy you're worried you're not going to be able to sign as a UDFA, right? Truman Jones, it's easy. Hey, we know you. You don't have to relocate, right? Something like that. Whereas,
go to wide receiver.
Wide receiver. You want to go Michael Jefferson?
Or Dallas Daniels.
He'd be the guy here. Dallas Daniels just plays especially actually, is he? Oh, he's there.
Who?
Shedrick Jackson. Bo Jackson's nephew plays for Auburn, ran a 4.26 40. That would be a great pick here. That would actually be a perfect pick here. I wasn't impressed with Anton Green at the Shrine Bowl, honestly.
Okay.
Who else you got?
Man, I'm a Dallas Daniels fan because I just like the idea of Jackson State guys making it to the league. But
if we're going, if we're going to go with the Shrine Bowl receiver, it's Michael Jefferson. See, they took their receiver though. I think they're going to go trenches here.
But they only took one receiver, and he was a first round pick.
That's true. That's true. All right. Yeah, I would say Michael Jefferson then is the guy.
All right. So that's it. There it is.
Right.
Michael Jefferson. Let me update the thing, and then I guess I can show it on the screen as well.
Yeah. And by the way, people asked why I covered up the grades because they were like, "Oh, you're embarrassed. Did such a bad draft." I covered up the grades because you guys don't form your own opinion. I shouldn't say you guys. There are some people who, because this is a learning exercise. I'm trying to learn about the prospects, who could be on the board, who's interested in, or who might they be interested in at certain spots in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
When you just look at the grades and base it off the grades, you don't learn anything. Then there are people looking and say, "Oh, they gave you an F for this pick. It's a bad pick." We took Marcus Jones. I remember this last year. We took Marcus Jones exactly where the Patriots took Marcus Jones, whatever that was. It was like 86 or something. And it gave us a D- for that pick. Mike, was that a D- pick in reality?
A+.
Thank you.
Maybe not an A+, but it was a good pick.
I am, call it an A. I am covering the grades to save you guys from yourselves. I want you to learn something. I want you to form you are totally allowed to think it was a bad draft. You're absolutely allowed to do that. But if you're going to think it was a bad draft, you're going to have to come with us at a reason besides PFF gave you a bad grade, because that's really not a good barometer for figuring this out. So that's why I cover up the grades. I'll tell you guys right now, it gave us a C+ with 3 Fs, including Michael Turk. And Zay
it's because it's just early for Turk, according to the algorithm.
Right, because they don't think any special should be drafted. And by the way, Zay Flowers, who you all love, gave us a D. So, all right, Mike.
Well, can we look at it or no? Can we look at the grades? I'm curious.
No, because it defeats the purpose.
All right, fine. You're right.
Because then people are going to screenshot it from the video and be like, "Oh, we covered up the grades, but I found them on the stream."
Fair. All right, let's do it. Mock 4.0. Started off Zay Flowers, wide receiver, Boston College. He's a fit. I still think that Alex, that there's a chance. Maybe not a chance, but I think Zay could be the first wide receiver taken off the board.
You're not wrong. I would totally believe that.
I think that he could be. But Patriots get the third guy off the board because JSN and Quentin Johnston already went. They take Zay Flowers at 14. 46.
Which, by the way, if it fell that way, Mike,
yeah,
I would say teams are saving the Patriots from themselves. They made the Patriots make the right decision if the board falls that way.
Yeah,
right?
I agree.
Because and look, that's how it works sometimes. You'll hear teams say, "Yeah, he was the third receiver off the board, but we had him number 1 on our board. We were going to take him no matter who was there." I think this could be one of those situations.
Yeah.
Where he's the third receiver off the board, but even if they were all there, the Patriots were always taking Zay Flowers no matter what.
Right. Yeah, fair point.
Kind
of like maybe Mac Jones. Maybe like Mac Jones. He was the 5th quarterback off the board, but
I think they did actually say that about Mac Jones now that you mentioned that. So
yeah. So, Emmanuel Forbes, pick 46. I've said it about 3 or 4 times on the show now, but a dominant playmaker, ball hawk. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm losing my mind here. Ball hawk, 6 pick sixes in his career at Mississippi State. They go Tyler Steen in the 3rd round, tackle from Alabama. Worked with Bill O'Brien last year. Jartavis Martin in the 4th, safety. Add to that room now that shout out to the anonymous unicorn that is in the Google Doc. That's what it comes up as. Sorry. Jartavius Martin, then they go Kendre Miller, running back in the 4th round. Then they trade their 3rd 4th round pick. They go back and get Michael Turk at pick 150, and they also picked up pick 192, I believe. So 2 picks for 1 there. Michael Turk.
Yeah. No, we got 193. We always had 192. We got 193.
193. Then they go Jose Ramirez. I won't say it, Alex, but he's an edge from Eastern Michigan. Anthony Bradford, interior offensive lineman from LSU. Braden Willis, tight end. A bunch of trades because we had way too many picks, but we end up at the end with Dante Stills, a defensive lineman from West Virginia, and Michael Jefferson from Louisiana Lafayette.
So
11 picks.
I didn't explain Jefferson a ton. I'll just throw it in there. Okay. Jefferson, big wide receiver, big body, red zone threat. He's not like a burner or anything, but he's a guy that's going to basically come in and compete for like a reserve X role, and probably lands on the practice squad. And next year, kind of maybe has a chance to win that role when Devontae Parker's contract expires. Not a super high upside pick, but I think there are some things in his game that like he belongs in the NFL. To what extent, that's what we'd find out in camp, but I'm comfortable using a pick on him. I've seen enough from him that it's like, yeah, all right, let's get this guy into camp and just sort of see what it looks like in an NFL offense. See what his game looks like in an NFL offense.
I like this draft overall, Alex. I think we hit on every hole, and I don't really think that there's any like necessarily a glaringly bad pick. And like I said, we filled a lot of needs. And there's not so many like big splashes, which kind of feels like the Patriots aren't into big splashes. Maybe Zay Flowers in the 1st round, but I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I'll throw this out there too. I saw some people talking about this in the chat, and I actually agree with you. I don't think the Patriots think tackle is as big of a need as we think it is.
Oh, I 100% agree with that. I think that the way they've worked this offseason, and I agree. I don't think so either.
Waiting on the tackle, I think is okay. And for the people saying maybe we reached on Tyler Steen, is that a little high for Tyler Steen? In theory, yes, but you saw the way the board fell, right?
Right.
Freeland was gone. Duncan was gone. Bergeron was gone. Like if it wasn't him, it's that big drop off at the position, and that's the way it happens sometimes, right? Where there's a run on a position, especially a position that's thin in the draft. Mike, I would bet you it's going to happen at tackle in this draft. I think it's going to happen at maybe linebacker in this draft too, where there aren't a ton of players. It's a weak position. It's a weak draft for the position. So you would think that pushes guys down because, it's not as good. But what it actually does is push certain players up the board.
Right.
Because teams basically get in the spot where, well, if we don't take the guy now, we know we want to address this position in the draft. Uh-huh. If we don't take him now, and this is essentially what happened to us. If we don't take him now, we're not going to have another chance to address this position. So, we'll overdraft him because this is our only chance to really make the pick we want to make. And that's exactly it. Like, it's a great example of reach isn't always necessarily a bad thing. And you've got to look at it in the context of the position. If we took Tyler Steen at 76, and we wouldn't have because I'm here, but if we took Tyler Steen at 76 with Blake Freeland on the board, that's a reach. That's a bad pick because there's a better player at the position available. But they need to come away from this draft with the top 100 tackle. I think they know that. Mm-hmm. And there was only one top 100 tackle there. And could we have traded down and gotten him? Maybe. But again, it's that thing where we weren't the only team that needed a tackle. I looked there, right? I think it was the Steelers, like 3 picks below us that needed a tackle. So if we move down because, it's too early for Tyler Steen, and then Tyler Steen goes, well, now you don't get that tackle at all.
And it's not one of those things where we're writing the draft up and not actually playing the mock draft simulator, right? So like if we just wrote
this is how I do my mock drafts for that
that's
exact reason.
That's what I'm saying. But some people will just write a mock draft and not actually use the simulator. And so you would think that Tyler's like, no, he literally we needed to take him here because there were no other tackles on the board at 76. So it happened in the simulator, and so like that's how it's going to happen in real life as well.
So there you go. So that's I think that's the one we're probably going to get the most pushback on here. People are going to see Eastern Michigan and Jose Ramirez and be very confused.
Right.
But that's
because that's the name of the third baseman for the Cleveland Guardians.
Yes, Mike, it is. Is 184 a 5th round pick or a 6th round pick?
It's probably a 6th round pick. I think I'm
going to check that. No, it's all good. We were moving around a ton. Yeah, 184 is 6th round pick. So, but
is 219 a 6th round pick?
I think that was like the first pick in the 7th round, actually.
Okay, I think because that was a traded one. So that kind of screwed me.
218 was the first pick in the 7th round.
Okay,
it's 218, not 219. It doesn't matter. We're gonna post it. We're gonna post the thing online.
Yeah, but
this is just for people to follow while we do the draft.
But I'll write it up I'll write it up for CLNSmedia.com too. So I need to take a look at this.
So that was 218 then.
Yeah. All right.
So that's it. That's
there. You have it, folks. Another good one. 4.0 in the books. We will be back again next Tuesday for another Patriots Q&A show. We'll do some news and we'll do some Q&A. We'll be back again next Thursday to do yet another mock draft live here on Patriots Beat for all of you guys. So thank you so much for watching. We appreciate it. Thanks for giving us some banter in the chat as well. It's always good to see the good, bad, and the ugly of what you guys think we're doing here. I want to shout out FanDuel.com/Boston because you can get $200 in bonus bets right now if you go to FanDuel.com/Boston. You got to deposit 10, bet 5. Super easy. Come bet with us. FanDuel's a great sponsor here, and we want to show them some love, and we also want to show you guys some love with $200 in bonus bets. So go check that out. Alex.
Hang on.
Yes.
Oh, no. Hey, where'd it go?
What do you got?
Somebody figured out we coordinate, and we didn't even.
Look at that!
Opening day.
Yes.
For opening day, you got the baseball hat. I got the Fenway hat. So
I'm already on the Worcester Red Sox.
Happy opening day.
10-9 loss. I'm already going to the Woo Sox because
this is what their season is going to be. It's going to be a bunch of embarrassing, high-scoring losses. This is what they're going to do all year. But way to put good recognition.
Do we dare?
All right, Let's
talk about it.
If you don't have I was told the Red Sox bullpen was going to be better, and yet it's a 5-2, 5-3 game. It's still a very winnable game, and they put human white flag Ryan Brazier on the mound after a DFA spree this offseason. By the way, Franchi hit 450 this spring. It's now on the Yankees. They put Ryan Brazier on the mound. He can't throw a strike. He can't reach the plate. He can't throw the ball 60 feet, 6 inches. Then they go to the other guy whose name I refuse to know because he shouldn't be on this team by the end of next week. Caleb Ward, thank you. And then would you look at it? The game's out of hand. And hey, if they'd actually, put their bullpen out there or had a bullpen to put out there, I get it. They were losing and they went to the back end of the bullpen. Fine. The back end of the bullpen should not be that bad. If they had a decent pitcher, if they had a major league caliber pitcher in that role, maybe the thing doesn't get away from them and they actually win with those late inning heroics. Their bats, their lineup is fine.
It is.
It's fine. It's not great, but they have some bats. The fact that they were what they were pitching last year, and their solution was to add a 35-year-old Corey Kluber and a late 30s, early 40s Kenley Jansen and say, well, Chris Sale and James Paxton are going to be back. Inexcusable from Chaim Bloom. And it's all like this.
It's already off the rails in game one, which is
everything we talked about this offseason. Everything we talked about this offseason about, they can't pitch and they need this and they need that was on display today. And by the way, you know what cost him another run? Kike Hernandez throwing the ball away from shortstop. Mm-hmm. Maybe Xander Bogaerts isn't a Gold Glover. He doesn't make that play. And maybe he gets a couple more hits as well. So
what's his name? Lavender Poppy?
Lavender Poppy. Get out of here with that. Yeah, Lavender Poppy. It's ridiculous.
Getting mad when people compare him to Xander Bogaerts.
Bruins are still good. Celtics we'll see tonight.
We'll do live updates. Oh yeah, look at the score of the Celtics versus Bucks. They are up 108. They are up 108 to 64.
Holy, what in the third quarter?
They are, yes, 108-64.
Oh, talk about a statement game.
That's outstanding. Bruins are tied 1-1. It's 112-69. Tatum has 40. Jalen has 30. And Brogdon has 12. So Giannis went for 24, but as a minus 32. Yeah, they blew him up.
All right, so just cover up that Red Sox graphic on the side there. Bruins Celtics draft.
That's 112.
I'd love to see that. That's exciting.
All right, that's fine. Red Sox are back on Saturday, so we'll continue to throw these in and talk about the rest of Boston sports as we go. Again, FanDuel.com/Boston. Go check it out. Thank you, guys.
Tatum is 40 points. Let's go.
Yeah, that's good stuff. 40 points. 40 points, 8 boards. He's a plus 39, and Brown goes for 35-5. So all around, good night for the Celtics. We'll be back next week. Thanks for letting Alex rant, everybody. It's good stuff. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be back next week. Follow him on Twitter at RealAlexBarth. Read his stuff at 985thesportsup.com. Follow myself on Twitter at Mike Kadlick. I'll have this mock draft written up on CLNSmedia.com tonight into tomorrow, so make sure to check that out. Go Boston Sports. Go